Happy holidays. It's Christmas time, and oh, I got a flashback on my Snapchat the other day. It showed me memories from the past. I was going through them. There's some good ones in there. So I've lived a very interesting life. And I look at some of those memories and I think, wow, man, good times. We're going to talk a little bit, because I got to do some cool adventures, and one of them I was seeing was when I was in Romania. I was in Romania shooting a movie, Django. Not the one with Jamie Foxx. Different one. It's on Netflix. It was the European version. We're shooting this movie. And we're shooting that movie. It was really cool because it got real. It was a Western. And they brought us over to Romania to shoot it because it's cheaper. They can do X, Y, and Z. There's a whole bunch of things that are going down. And we're on set. And I remember there was the first AD was yelling at the head of stunts. So everyone speaks different languages because this is Europe. So the head of stunts only speaks English and Spanish because he's from Spain. The first AD only speaks Romanian and I think French. And then the director only speaks English. And the director's getting mad at the first AD, and the first AD is having the Spanish guy translate, and they're all getting mad at each other because someone wasn't on set on time to bring the horses in too early. The whole thing. They're arguing in different languages, someone has to translate, and they're going off on the radio. Oh man, that was a good set. That was probably one of the funnest movies I got to shoot. Was that one. And that was a fun movie. It was in Romania. It was wild too because when they're dressing us up, it was funny because I think we're playing Comanches or Apaches, some southern tribe, and the scene was we were doing a raid, and then we get in this big gun battle with Django, and then I was the one running by and I knocked Django out, and he goes unconscious, and then the next scene he wakes up, right? And he's like, "Where's everybody?" And everyone's also dead. That was the scene, and that was a pretty cool scene. I remember I was riding on this white horse. And I got to ride by him, and I hit him, and I keep on going. And I remember we were shooting that scene, and in my head, because I've ridden a lot of horses, and I kind of maneuver, leaning down and hitting somebody with your weapon's a lot more work than just running them over with your horse. That's a very different concept. I have the horse, and the scene is I hit him, right? But as I'm trying to do that, the horse keeps on getting, I don't know if it was camera shy or person shy, because I had to thread the needle on. I had to get within inches of him so I can lean over and hit the guy. But the horse kept, every time we got close, would shy out and run off this way. And the camera, and when you're shooting with horses, everything's real. It's not fake belief, because horses are real animals. They don't know the difference between fake and real. But they're very intelligent, and they can tell, they know the key words like action. Horses can understand words like that. Whether they're mnemonic devices or something that's going on in their heads, I don't know. But they understand words and cues. So you'd have to change it up on set. We'd have to change the words for action or go, because they wouldn't understand. They start acting all crazy when they heard those words. So when I was shooting the scene, they had to change the word, and I had to thread the needle on the guy. And I have a $100,000 Alexa right in front of me. I have to get right here, lean over, hit the guy, and then miss the camera as well. But the horse wouldn't get close enough for me to thread that needle. And something was going on. I don't know what was going on in that scene with the horse. And my horsemanship was doing pretty good. And the timing wasn't right. I'll do it, and then they were like, "Oh, we got to redo it." The timing wasn't right because they had women and children running on the background. We had people circling on horse. There's a whole bunch of sequences that had a chain camera work. And that's the cool part about Hollywood, is making the chain work fluently. And I think about that because why was the horse shy of this? Because this isn't this horse's first movie. Why was it shy of running through? It could be trained. It was a highly trained horse. There's no doubt about it. It goes down to your horsemanship. How good are you of a horseman to make that adjustment? And honestly, I don't know. I don't know what the cue would be to make a horse run over a man if it's never done that before, opposed to shying out. Because there's been times where I've been hauling ass on a horse, full speed, and I've almost wiped people out, but when I was supposed to, the horse shied off at the last moment. And this isn't races, and this isn't cross-country races, horseback, that's a whole different story. But I've noticed that with horses. They can be highly trained, but they get scared last second, they kind of shy out. And when you're hauling ass on a horse and you're going full speed, and you're going and you're really maneuvering, when they do that last second shy out, you can lose your balance. Because your focus is somewhere else. You're working with the horse, you can feel all its movements. Your breath is in sync with its breath. And you're moving and everything's beautiful. And you don't have to have your fingertip control on the horse. But when they add in that last second, it throws you off because you didn't expect it. Sure, you stick it out and then you readjust. So I don't know what that is. That's a conversation I have to have with someone with a higher horse IQ, horse trainer. Because that's a war horse, essentially. To do that type of movement, to run somebody over with your horse, that's a war horse movement. It's not a circus move, it's not a training move, it's a real life move that you use. When I think about that, I just don't know. Don't know. Because horses have been used for war for thousands of years, for millennia. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Let me know what you have to do to train a horse to do that. Or if it's just instinctual. Because I've noticed when I work with different horse breeds, things are very instinctual for some of them. Take the Spanish Barb, for example. That horse was bred for war. And I know so because it's very easy for them to get up on their hind legs and strike people. I've noticed that. Where it's very tough to teach, say, a Parisian or a Mustang that maneuver. Spanish Barb, very easy. They know instinctively. And to do that, that's a maneuver used in war. Spanish Barbs have been used by the Spanish for thousands of years for war. The conquistadors used them for war. So maybe it's instinctual, I don't know. Is it something that has to be learned, or is it something that they're born with? The instincts of a horse. I don't know. Because I've been on racehorses going full throttle. And I've seen horses wipe people out on the racetrack. And I've also seen them shy away from wiping people out. I don't know. It's beyond me. Psychology of a horse, you can get very deep, especially when you're into racing horses, like many of my cousins and uncles are. They understand the deep psychology of a horse, how to train them, what they need, rest, break, how to train them, stretch them, how to do chiropractic work on them, what they need in their water, why a horse won't drink. There's just so many things behind a horse psychology. It's beautiful because, oh man, because that's what you do, that's what you love. Racing horses or even riding horses. There's a deep psychology behind it that I don't understand. I've tried my best on a lot of things. But yeah, the psychology of a horse. Bringing it back to the Romanian stuff. When you're working, this is how you test how good of a horse rider you are, is getting on horses you've never rode before and sticking them. That's good horsemanship right there, because that's what you have to do in the movies, or that's what you have to do for stunt work, whatever it may be. You get on horses that are probably not broke, that you've never rode before, unless you get a highly trained one for a specific scene, like I did that one scene, I had a highly trained horse, right? But other times you get a canter, a horse that's not very good, and you have to maneuver on them, and you have to work them out, figure eight them. There's a bunch of stuff that goes into it prior to shooting that shot. So that was cool. The saddles that we used on that. Because I've ridden a lot of bareback. I'm decent on bareback. I'm not the greatest. I'm not saying I'm going to compete. But I'm definitely pretty solid on horseback. Especially bareback. And I can maneuver pretty good on bareback. So they gave us saddles. And when you go from no bareback to a saddle, you're a lot better. because now you got the saddle, right? Stirrups, this and that. So I'm a lot more fluent. And the type of saddles they had for us were really cool. They had a hunter saddle. I've never heard of these. So I've only had Western saddles with the horn. The hunter saddle had no horn, it just had a pocket where you can get really low on it. You can hunt off of it. And that was really cool. And they had different types of styles, saddles for horses. And that was beautiful. Seeing it, I was working with them. Yeah. And after we shot that scene, I had this guy named Rod, cool cat, man, crow dude, and he showed me this wicked maneuver. It's called the Pawnee shot. So the Pawnee shot essentially is, you have your horse's neck, you grab it, you roll underneath the neck, and you take a shot, and then you roll back over. It's called the Pawnee shot. He showed me how to do that, and that was on set, on the scene, because I've never done that before. The Pawnee shot. And then I perfected it, doing some other things, asking people about it, and I learned, and I perfected the Pawnee shot pretty good. Pretty damn good. Pawnee shot. Perfected it. Yeah, you gotta have really strong hamstrings to do it though. You really gotta have strong hamstrings, because that's part, when you roll underneath the neck, that's another part that you're using to grip their flank, so you can hold on yourself. He showed me that on set, and we did it in a couple scenes. I don't know if they caught it on camera or not, but I got it. And you can do it with the bow and arrow too. It's a lot tougher with the bow. It's easier with the pistol, but you can do it with the bow. So that was a cool maneuver I got to work with. On set, Romania, learned that.